With the upcoming documentary and her relationship with Travis Kelce in the headlines, there's no denying Taylor Swift is on everyone's lips. In today's video, we'll be analyzing Taylor's personality using the MindHub system. Taylor's personality isn't too complex, but the way that she is perceived by others in the industry is somewhat divisive. Taylor is well loved by many around the world and is often seen as a model for female friendship. We might break it down, in an overly generalized way, by saying young women often love her, adult women tend toward dislike, and men are largely indifferent about her personality unless they are dating her. Here at MindHub, we usually track personality changes that occur due to disappointments, but Taylor is a rare statistical case of a personality that has changed over time due to her successes. The young Taylor Swift was seen as a sweetheart mostly due to her aims. In MindHub, aims are what people strive for in life, but are not necessarily aligned with their behavior. Taylor often spoke about the importance of family, friends, and religion in her life. These aims make her seem relatable and harmless to many. Now let's look at her drives or expressed behaviors. At the beginning of Taylor's career, we can see that Taylor is a social and proactive personality. She seeks attention for her talent and also for her physical appearance. In early interviews, we can see a pattern where Taylor is frequently comparing herself to other girls or talking about aspects of her appearance in either a positive or self-effacing way. She was always eager to be playing live and recognized for her songwriting and singing. From an early point in her career, her songs were autobiographical, and she also wanted people to understand her story and to control that narrative. Her PR focus was always on telling stories about how she is the girl who supports other girls. There is enough evidence that regardless of having ego, Taylor did, in fact, support women or girls in distress, and she continues to do so. She has a primary compassion drive in the MindHub system, which means she is ready to give to someone in need. In interviews, we can also see a tendency toward overpoliteness, always taking the comfort of others into account. Often people who see ego and compassion together dismiss the compassion as fake. Taylor has definitely had criticism in this area from some famous rivals. Here at MindHub, we know that such drives can and do coexist. Taylor also shows primary greed. She chooses to expand on success by reaching for even more, rather than resting on her previous achievements. This expansive tendency is also the reason Taylor doesn't have primary ambition, which is mostly concerned with consistent output. Taylor does produce a lot of songs and records, so likely has secondary ambition in addition to her main drives. She takes enough effort to learn techniques that will be pleasing to her audience, but her main focus is to expand that audience, and we can see the monetary result of her efforts. Taylor Swift is a wildly successful woman, now nearing $1 billion in net worth. Her ego drive is still apparent, and we expect ego to be the strongest drive in a performer of this caliber as it is functional for performance. However, there are benefits and drawbacks to having early fame. One effect is coddling. Being coddled is a problem because it allows people to live in an echo chamber for prolonged periods so that the person is often not getting the feedback they would need in order to mature. Taylor can sometimes be viewed as a child in a woman's body, and this is a likely cause. Having a close circle and many family members involved in her career likely protected her from many dangers related to her industry. On the flip side, another risk is that close people can also stifle expression that doesn't fit in with their ideas of the already successful persona. Other famous people have faced similar challenges getting their true needs met and their ideas taken seriously. We see in Taylor a drive developing called principles. More and more, Taylor wants to use the spotlight to share her strong beliefs, but she is still inexperienced in taking in criticism or feedback and tends to be highly emotional when questioned or judged. In MindHub, having principles means that you are willing to sacrifice to live up to your own ideals. Taylor has, in some instances, shown stubbornness with her family and PR team in wanting to speak her mind about political and religious convictions. Doing so can be detrimental to the juggernaut of a brand that has already been created, but time will tell how and what she will be willing to sacrifice for what she thinks is right. Having the combination of ego, compassion, and principles would make Taylor a less social ambivert and so perhaps willing to let go of trying to please every demographic. Inner drives in MindHub, including principles, make someone a bit more edgy, less likable to some. If Taylor continues as this profile, she will lose some of her fans and draw more criticism. Taylor is so successful now that she seems to be losing the greed drive. When people have so much money, as she does, the taste for money can naturally subside. Taylor aimed to expand her audience and for some level of material wealth. Now this aim seems almost unnecessary. Some might say Taylor has intimate aim, but she does not seem overly attached to the men she dates and shows willingness to break off relationships that are less than ideal for her. At times, it seems she is playing with lifestyle transformations, and in this seems capricious to onlookers. She does not seem too concerned with her own finances and is generous with large sums. She doesn't seem to try to dovetail her fame into business ventures as some do. Taylor seems to continue to have the same aims of family, friends, and spirituality. Spirituality may be emphasized or take precedence as she learns more about herself. The relative stability of her aims in life has given Taylor considerable fortitude. The way that she has withstood industry pressures and avoided the common traps of celebrity should be respected. Though we'd recommend that instead of taking the attitude of the lyrics "haters gonna hate, I'm gonna shake it off," she should consider more often her other lyric, "the problem is me." We look forward to more years of more grown-up autobiographical tunes. Cheers to the next generation of Swifties.